Greetings, luxe lovers. Welcome or welcome back. Here we believe in intentional luxury and we're not afraid to invest in pieces that will work for us. So if that resonates with you, then please consider subscribing and stay a while. And before we start, my bag of the day is my Hermes Evelyne TPM, or 29, and this is the first generation. It's definitely giving me more fall vibes, and that Hermes leather just wears so beautifully. If you're like me, you might be just looking at the same few pages on the Hermes website over and over again. But the other day, I was really perusing around to get outside of my comfort zone, and I actually found some really amazing things that I didn't even know existed. I'll share some of the items that I found and thought could be fair alternatives to more traditional products. Some of them are a little bit jokey, but some of them are pretty serious. And in some cases, they could save you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. I'll refer to these as my Hermès Hacks, or should I say Hermès Hacks. So not only will I be sharing the buy this, not that type of comparison, but I'll also share some items that can simply be repurposed for another use. So let's begin. So the first item that we have here is your traditional Avalon throw blanket. And these come in at about $1,800. It's a wool and cashmere blend. You know, these are lovely. I personally don't have one in my collection, but then I saw on the website, if you go to the equestrian line, there's this thing called the Rockabar blanket. And it's literally a blanket for your horse. And I don't know if it gets any more Hermes than that, other than like the saddles. But this blanket goes for $590, and that alone would just be a savings of $1,210. And yes, with the Rockabar blanket, you don't get the cashmere, but I think it would definitely be worth giving it a look, and it comes in some cool colorways. And if you're just looking for other pre-spend ideas, I think this one is pretty intriguing. Even if you just want like a nice picnic blanket or something to put down, something a little more user-friendly than the Avalon blanket, this could be a good option. Also, if you want other options from your traditional Avalon throw blanket, they do have some in the baby line with this Avalon baby blanket and the cabriole blanket as well. But these, of course, are much smaller, whereas I felt the Rockabar one actually gave you that same size for a much better price. Plus, you get to dip your toe into the equestrian lines. Next, we have the Gine Leo beach towel, and this is one that I actually unboxed here on this channel. And while these towels are really beautiful, they do come in at about $680 each, which is pretty steep for a towel. But then if you go over to the kids section again, the Epsom beach towels look just as good. Again, they are smaller, and it probably is a price that's commensurate with the size. But if you wanted to get a towel but not have it be huge, this might be a good option. And these come in at about $460, so that's a smaller savings of about $220. Similarly, along this vein, we look at the famous Avalon pillows, and they actually make an Avalon pillow in the small model. So that's about $770, whereas I think the traditional size one is around a little over $1,000 now. But if you're after a smaller size Avalon pillow, then you might as well look at this in the baby section, and it's called the Avalon cabriole pillow, and this one is at $620, and that's a savings of $150. Okay, so let's go to more non-obvious options. This I saw on the men's website, which looked really cool. It's called the Odyssey Tear duffel bag, and they come in some really neat colors. They look like they're very durable, with a nice zipper in the front, with some leather trim and leather pockets. But this comes in at a hefty $4,300. But then if you go to the pets line, you'll see that they have a carrying bag for dogs. And I don't know about you, but to me, this is a pretty good comparable for a kind of round duffel bag. This one also has a shoulder strap and the top handles. All you have are those little air holes for dogs, but people aren't gonna know, I don't think, if you're just stuffing your suitcase full of clothes. And coming in at $2,900, that's a savings of $1,400. So functionally, I think these two are pretty similar. Next, also in the men's line, is this Hermes all-back backpack. And these are pretty cool commuter bags to me. But again, pretty pricey for, it looks like it's like a technical fabric, and that is $5,050. Again, a pretty hefty price tag for what looks like a fabric backpack. And now if we go into the equestrian section, we see this groom school backpack. And this is actually the item that made me think about this whole video concept, because I saw this online and I really like it. I am so close to purchasing this because I do feel like I could very easily use this as like a commuting backpack. You all know I love my Tumi Voyager backpack, but this to me seems like it would just be pretty practical. It has the top handle carry and it has the backpack straps. And for me, it definitely looks like it'd be able to fit my laptop and all my essentials. So I'm definitely keeping my eye on this because I know I was thinking about adding a her bag to my collection, but I really like the looks of this groom school backpack. If we look at the cost of the all back backpack versus the groom school backpack, that's a savings of $2,400. Next, we'll go on to kind of the writing accessories, and we're looking at the GM simple agenda cover here. Beautiful leather cover, and that comes in at about $460. But again, you always need that refill. But then I looked at the refills themselves, and I think they look great. So here I'll show a picture of the agenda refill that goes with that GM agenda. And this is $95. Yes, it's a hefty price, but if you look at it, I think the cover is pretty cute. It looks like a little comic book for Hermes. So you could just buy this agenda refill without buying the cover, and you will have saved yourself the cost of that cover, which is $460. And even if you go further into the website to look at the other different smaller notebook format sizes, some are even as cheap as $35. And I think that kind of maroon cover with the Hermes H in the front is super pretty. Next, we see this pop up on the fashion jewelry part of the website, and it's the Kelly choker. And the Kelly choker is coming in at about $500. And when I first looked at this, I thought it was a joke, but it's a real thing. And to me, the alternative to this would be purchasing a Glennon double tour bracelet, which comes in at about $345. And in fact, as you know, I just bought my Glennon double tour when I purchased all of the Vert Cypress items. So I just wanted to do a quick demo to show you guys that you could easily take this and put it around your neck depending on what size you have. So even though I know I already have my Van Cleef on, I'll quickly show you what putting this on would look like. And here, all you do is put it around your neck, secure the T-bar, and boom, here's your Glennon choker. Granted, my wrist size is very small, so I got the T1, but I'm sure if you got a T2 or a T3, it would sit even lower on the neck. And obviously, if I did use this, I probably wouldn't style it with this particular necklace, but from afar, it just looks like an Hermes choker. And this can also be done with the Be Happy bracelets as well. So if you decide to go with the Glennon double tour or the Be Happy double tour versus the Kelly choker, you could save yourself about $155. And if you took advantage of all these alternative options, it would have saved you $5,995. That's almost $6,000 in savings of just choosing one product over the other. And if you're enjoying yourself so far and finding value, I'd love for you to consider subscribing. I love pulling together these types of theme videos, which are a mixed bag of show and tell reviews, shop with me curations, and wish list items. So if you enjoy that too, I'd love to have you be part of our Luxe loving community. So now that we've finished the portion of buy this, not that, we can now just talk about the items that can simply just be repurposed that I found on Hermes.com. So first, there's this old chestnut, which a lot of people know about, but that is using the grooming bag as a baby bag. And I personally never went for this because the grooming bag kind of does look super heavy. But if that doesn't matter to you, then I could totally see this working as a great baby bag, especially with the fact it has D-rings on each side of the bag so that you could attach those to stroller clips on your stroller handles. Next, in the equestrian section, I found this comb. And to me, you know, whether or not it's a horse or your own hair, this looks like a perfectly good comb if you want Hermes in all parts of your life. Similarly, I found this dog brush in the pet section, and to me, a brush is a brush. And if you want a brush to brush your own hair, I'm sure this brush would be perfectly fine. I think it's Celine that has their own line of combs. So this to me could be a gateway into Hermes creating their own combs for adults. And lastly, this one is a bit of a reach, but when I was in the Petite H section, I saw this domino set. And to me, from afar, you could almost build a case that this little domino set with the Kelly lock closure could be a little clutch. How cute is this? And in general, I would just suggest looking around the equestrian section under the rider section. They have some pretty practical pieces that never make it on into the regular women's ready-to-wear section that, you know, we can all use, especially in today's day of athleisure wear. I know I'm personally curious about this extra light puffer coat, this warm-up fleece, and even these black leggings that come in the petite side. If they work and fill a good purpose and you'll use them a lot, it could be worth the money. But here's the item where I could really use your help. You all know that my absolute favorite color at Hermes is Vert Cypress. And I've recently discovered that they make the passport holder in my favorite color, and I'll put that here. But in my other videos, I've also shared that I already have a great solution for my passports and my family's passports with my Tumi passport holder. So I cannot for the life of me come up with an alternative usage for this passport holder that would just justify my purchase of this additional Vert Cypress piece. So if you guys can tell me in the comments if you know or can think of any other uses for this passport holder in a different way that I would probably use a lot, then I could definitely talk myself into purchasing this as well. So thank you to those who've stayed with me to the end. I'd love to know if any of you are interested in any of these alternative use items. And if you own any of these items, please let us know how you like them in the comments. If you've enjoyed this video, I invite you to go down the rabbit hole that is my luxury curation playlist, and I'll put that link here. Please like it if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!